Carla Pendleton once again with the final part of this close-up of painting and detailing the pansy. Now I've gone ahead and mixed some thinned paint. Now this is not like ink, but it's more like a toothpaste consistency or maybe a heavy cream, and I've put it on my plate so that you can kind of take a look at it. And that's what I'm going to use to put on, and I'm going to use this liner brush. Now I like the German liners, or the synthetic liners, and that's what I use, but again I like the German liners, so that's basically what I use to detail these pansies, is this fine liner. I'm going to mark the center because it's important that we have a bit of a target here to look at. I'm just going to wipe it out a little bit better than I have before. And let's put in the whiskers that you see so often on pansies. The first thing I'll do is tap in, tap, 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 quite a bit of paint, but it has been thinned. It's not the same consistency as what I put on when I painted the pansy. It's thinned down, about like toothpaste, maybe a little thinner, maybe more like heavy cream. And you can tell that I'm putting this in rather heavily. And I'm going to go down here around the base as well, the base of the center. Oh, there was a really good heavy load. Okay. And here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is pull these whiskers out of that area where I had just laid in that heavy, heavy paint. And I'm lifting the brush as I come out and away. You can see why you would want a thin, nice thin brush, but I do like the body of the synthetics for this. They have a little more spring to them. So synthetics for the whiskers and the center, but I prefer the natural, German natural hair for the actual lay-in of the petals. Maybe let's get a couple more stretched just a little further on this side, pulling out from the center and toward myself. Same thing over here. I do like to exaggerate these just because they're so characteristic of the pansy. Okay, now let's pull some out for the apron. Differing lengths. Don't make them all the same length. Don't line them all up. And remember, we are painting wet on wet. That's one reason we thinned the paint down a bit. You also don't want to press too hard on that brush. If you do, you get something with a streak down the center, if I can demonstrate right here. If you press too hard, you're going to get this white streak down the center. Let me see if I can do it. Well, I'd probably do it better if I did it on the... That's one reason we piled that paint up so high. And, wouldn't you know, any other time I'd get some. But if you start seeing a white streak down the center of the vein, or of the whisker that you're painting, you're pressing on your brush a little too hard. Okay, so that's basically laying in the whiskers. Let's go now, and we're going to push out with the wipeout tool. We're going to push just a little bit more. I'm using a pick here on this side. Came in a little bit farther. And now we're going to load the brush with a little bit, I've mixed a little bit of lemon yellow and some enamel on my brush. And I'm just going to lay that down and pull up towards the center. Then reload, lay it down, pull up toward the very top of the growth point here. This is where the flower unfolds. I use some enamel in here just to make sure that I don't have a lot of bleed through. I want this part to be fairly opaque, and the enamel gives me that. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of cherry red. I'm going to exaggerate this because some of the yellow will eat that cherry red. So I'm going to exaggerate right in here that stamen that we see so typically on them. Very good. And finally, just going to take some white enamel on my brush. Just going to put a little bit of this typical white area that you see right here. Just a little bit of white enamel. Kind of highlight that edge. And we're finished with this pansy. Thanks so much for watching. I hope the close-up helped. And we'll return back to the major design on the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.